Welcome, everyone, to the TMA Day of Celebration. I'm Jacob Sanchez, TMA's diva, and your last-minute MC for the evening, or afternoon. We're here today to acknowledge the amazing accomplishments of a few talented groups of people that demonstrate the best of what we do here at TMA. While we can't wait to honor the incredible work of our award recipients, we first want to talk about all the amazing and outstanding work done on TMA as a whole this year. TMA successfully delivered a show almost every day. We did this despite the many technical issues we faced with our studio and the internet, because here at ACHS, we have the best in internet technology from 2006. We introduced numerous reoccurring segment series this year, providing weekly or every other weekly installments on various topics from school sports to satirical news items. To celebrate the special times in our lives, we produce themed episodes and specials for various big days, including Thanksgiving, a holiday special, and Star Wars Day. And just in case it wasn't obvious how big of nerds we all are already. We explored our community's troubled and racist history by following the Alexandria pilgrimage, the Alexandria Remembrance Project's pilgrimage to Alabama, and later released They Are All Honored Here, a documentary detailing the experience of all those who made that hallowed journey. We followed our amazing Titan volleyball team's success as they made it to the Virginia State Finals and won. Our broadcast club continued to give some advanced students hands-on experience on what it's like to be in the field, actually working. We did this through the coverage of all ACHS varsity lacrosse games, men's and women's, coverage of the Alexandria Historical Society's meetings, and those of Agenda Alexandria. Our social media department spearheaded the launch of a new Titan Media Crew Instagram account to help promote all of the cool things we do here, while keeping our official account as a portfolio to serve and demonstrate all of the work we do to people who want to see. Now, we have some very special guest speakers here to say a few words and present some awards. We ask that all speakers try to limit their remarks to around 20 seconds. Yes. First up, someone celebrating something special of their own. Our amazing superintendent, whose temporary position just became permanent, Dr. Melanie K. Wyatt. If you want to come up and say a few words, you're welcome to. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Next, we're going to be presenting the awards for the SkillsUSA competition winners. SkillsUSA allows students to demonstrate their skill in broadcast journalism. Our team placed first in districts and second in the state of Virginia. In true SkillsUSA fashion, the medals for our award recipients are not here, nor the person to present it. In lieu, we have Mr. Lyon with his very amazing homemade awards to present to our amazing SkillsUSA recipients. If they would like to come up now to receive their awards.
Would you like to receive your awards, we have been told the real ones are coming, so until then, you have a temporary awesome. True Champions SkillsUSA award. Congratulations to all. Congrats, nicely done. Cherish those forever.
I will.
Some words, Mr. Lyon, about skills.
I got some behind the scenes info, I guess, from the other teams. The team that did end up winning first place, the reason that they won second is because they were down a team member, and one of the rules is you're required to have 4 team members. It seems a little counterintuitive to me that you could do the best job with one less person and then get knocked points. But I was actually with the first place team when they were going back and watching everybody's show, and 2 different students from that team looked at each other and said, man, I'm really glad that they had somebody missing, because like they did such a good job. So even your competition recognizes how fantastically you did. So give yourself a pat on the back.
Thank you for those words, Mr. Lyon, and congratulations once again to all of our winners. Our next guest is from C-SPAN. C-SPAN StudentCam allows students to take an issue they're passionate about and break it down in the form of a short, non-narrative film. This year, Leo Dinsfry, Lachille Siaki, and Marissa Vidal's Modern Day Slavery was selected from a massive pool of national submissions for an honorable mention. Here to present the award is C-SPAN Director of Education Relations, Mr. Craig McAndrew. And if the C-SPAN people want to come up too.
This is just me, Matt. It's just me.
Oh, just
Yep.
you? Oh,
Yep.
sorry.
Oh, sorry. Ladies, you can sit down for a second. I'll bring you up in a minute. Yep. Well, thank you for having me today. My name is Craig McAndrew, Director of Education Relations at C-SPAN, and for the past 19 years, C-SPAN has run a student documentary contest asking students to create a 5 to 6 minute long video on an issue of national significance. And this year, obviously, we have some winners here at Alexandria City High School. It's quite and essentially an annual pilgrimage that I make to come back to Alexandria City High School. As Mr. Franz, students have been participating for the past 13 years. It looks like I looked back today and I see winners all the way back to then. And Rubaiyat, I was just speaking to before the ceremony today, was actually one of our winners back in 2016. So it was amazing to hear his story, going from creating a documentary about for-profit prisons and criminal justice to where he is today working for Alexandria City Public Schools. So great to be back again. So the competition itself this year, we asked students to think about themselves in a position of power, so to think of themselves as a newly elected member of Congress. Obviously, this year was this past year, when the submissions were created, was during a midterm election. So envisioning themselves as a newly elected member of Congress and talking about the issue that they would first address and why. So out of 3,000 students this year, representing 40 states across the US, as well as international schools from Kenya and the United Arab Emirates, we only had 9 winners, nine groups of winners from the state of Virginia, and you guys were one of the only 9 out of the state, so it's a big achievement. This year, obviously, I'm thrilled to award and recognize the work of Marissa Vidal, Leo Dinsfry, and Lachille Siaki, who won for their documentary, as we heard, on the issue of human trafficking. So the documentary takes a thorough look. I wish we could have shown you guys who have not seen it, but I know a link will be available for you to watch the documentary if you haven't already seen it. But takes a very serious issue and looks at what changes can be made to further address the evolving landscape, everything from the technology side to the actual landscape of the transportation side of human trafficking. And really, as a father myself of 2 daughters and someone who has neighbors and friends who work in some of these agencies that are dealing with domestic and international human trafficking issues, it's a tough issue for adults to talk about, let alone the job that you guys did. And it was remarkable, absolutely one of the best entries that we received this year, as we said, out of more than 1,300 entries, more than 3,000 students participating across the country. And you guys should be very proud of the work that you did. So at this point, I would like to a round of applause, and then we'll get you guys up here to ask you some questions. So come on up. So I have some certificates here that I'll present in just a minute, but I wanted to ask each of you, how do we arrive at the issue of human trafficking?
Oh, okay. I guess I'll answer that question. I did a project last year, a little bit of research about human trafficking, and I really didn't get to delve into it the way that I wanted to. So immediately when Ms. Saffron brought it up that this was a project that we needed to work on, I immediately knew that this was something I wanted to go into, and they immediately jumped on board, and we were all just so set on it because it's something that's such a huge issue that we never hear about. I never hear about it in school or anything, and it's so unspoken, but it needs to be spoken. So that's why we did it.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
And what were each of the roles? I know each of you appeared on camera, but you want to talk about the roles as you broke them down, the 3 of you?
Well, I did most of the research part of it.
I did a lot of the editing, and I helped with research and script writing stuff.
And I was mainly the interviewer and talking to people and things like that.
Yeah.
So in terms of the interviews, that's a big part of our competition, is actually speaking to experts about your chosen issue. And you had a survivor, you had people who are advocates, you also had a former law enforcement official. So can you talk about how you lined up those interviews and what the process for that was? Did we know these people, or you just reached out to them?
We kind of compiled a list of like group organizations and specific people from organizations that we thought would best represent like our topic, and then we emailed them or called them and asked if we could get an interview and speak with them, and we had like 5 or 6 people respond.
Oh, wow. So that's one of the most challenging aspects that we hear about, is students reaching out blindly as students and asking to talk about tough topics. And so how many people did you end up reaching out to?
5, I think.
And you heard back from all 5?
Yes.
Wow.
We reached out to like 20 or
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah.
25, and then we 5 people responded.
That's fantastic. So any stories, or I think I heard you talking about earlier about how you guys had to trim quite a bit because it's a 5 to 6 minute long video. So anything that was on the cutting room floor that you felt would have added
Especially
beyond?
we interviewed a survivor, and her story was just so like impactful, and really I would have loved to add that entire interview into our project, but that's not possible because everything she said, just like, it was everything, as Marissa said, like we don't talk about, she talked about it, and she represented it in like a sensitive way, which I think a lot of people are like, oh, you can't do that, you can't talk about this and have it be like appropriate. But she just, the way she spoke, it was like eloquent, and it was really like
raw.
Yeah.
You gave like a genuine thing that we should honestly look into, but at some points we couldn't add it because we had to look at from a neutral point of view and give it to like a broad generation, because we couldn't bring it up that way.
And did you make a longer cut of the video that you could enter in other competitions or in film festivals?
We should, though. That's a good idea.
Yeah, and for Leo's point, I didn't hear obviously the entire interview, but it was horrific to hear as a young child, obviously a family member, so someone, a position of trust, and how they violated that. Beyond that, so I wanted to talk to you guys about, all 11th grade, is that correct?
No.
11th graders.
11th grade?
And we're sophomores.
Sophomores, wow. So you guys have got a couple more years of potentially entering the competition.
See.
How much work actually went into this? So can you talk about? It's a significant amount.
Yeah. I mean, I know a couple of us all of us were like kind of here every day just working on it, like after school, during class,
Yeah. It is a remarkable achievement what you guys have done with the video. So any interest in a future in broadcast journalism and documentary filmmaking, politics even?
Maybe not politics for me, but definitely like documentaries in general, like that kind of. Before I making this video, I didn't really like documentaries, and then after this, it was it kind of showed me that it doesn't have to be something you look at as boring, because it can be like, it's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely broadcast and marketing as well. I think what we are as the young generation should be in marketing and broadcasting. We should give our points out to the people and show what we have, because we are the next future generation. So.
Absolutely.
And for me, I'd like to work kind of like more in the government side, but more on like criminal justice and things like that. Like, we interviewed one lady from the FBI, and I was like, oh, I want to be everything. Yeah.
Fascinating stuff, guys. And any other questions from the audience? Anyone want to ask? No? Well, at this stage, I have certificates for each of you. I also have goodie bags. I think the certificates all have your names on there, so I can give those to you without checking. There we go. And goodie bags. So I know we're getting into the warmer months, but there is a C-SPAN beanie and some other goodies in there for you guys. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
And congratulations again. Well done. We'll get some photos, hopefully with some family members too, and Dr. K. White, if you would join us as well. The last thing I wanted to say, I know there are some underclassmen in the room, and Griffin, I wanted to recognize you as the MC from last year's event as well. Jacob, great job. And last thing I'll say is we have our 20th anniversary of the competition coming up this year, so would highly encourage all of you. It is a challenging project, as I know you guys can attest to. I know some of you in the class also participated this year, but we feel it is a rewarding, and it's certainly asking you guys to work on life skills beyond what Mr. Varan's teaching you. At this point, I want to give a round of applause for Mr. Varan too, because you guys have done a wonderful job. So we haven't arrived at this year's theme for the 20th competition yet, the 20th year of the competition, but hopefully it'll be something along the lines of looking 20 years forward, talking again about you guys being the future, looking 20 years into the future and the issues that you'd like to see addressed 20 years into the future. We also want to keep some of those history teachers involved as well, so perhaps even looking 20 years into the past and looking at what has happened in those 20 years as well. So be on the lookout for that this summer. We should have the theme announced on the StudentCam website. But with that, I will thank you guys and turn it back to Jacob. Thank you.
I think you took my pages too.
My fault. Hang on. There we go. One more. That's it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. McAndrew, for those inspiring words, and congratulations once again to all of our amazing award recipients. I know C-SPAN is a cornerstone of all the TV2 experience, so each and every advanced TV student has done it, and we know just how impactful and important of a competition it is, and being able to talk about these issues. Lastly, before we end, we need to honor one more person who has devoted so much to TMA. He was a TV media production teacher here until very recently, and he was a mentor and friend to so many of us in this program. That's right, the one and only Keanu Reeves lookalike himself, Mr. Ben Lyon, here to present the recognition for his 5 years of service is the other amazing TV media production teacher, Mrs. Vilma Zephron. Are you coming up? No, to present it.
Oh, I will stand.
Hold on, huh? It's still wrapped.
Tear it out.
Just look at that. So this is for Mr. Lyon's 5 years. Well, actually, he was here with us for 8 years, and then he decided to jump ship. I don't know why. Yes.
Look at that thing.
Look at that star.
Thanks.
So thank you very much. If you notice that we always have Mr. Lyon over here, I'm hoping
Can't get
that he
rid of
gets
me.
the idea that we don't want him to leave. So, yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank
for
you.
that. Thank you.
I can't believe you. Thanks everyone. You can't get rid of me. I'm gonna keep coming back. Every time you have something going on, just let me know, or I'll let you know that I will be there. So thanks. I don't want to draw attention from the people who worked way harder than I did to get this star. So I'll turn it back to Jacob.
Once again, thank you to Mr. Lyon for all your years of service, even if you abandoned us for Arlington. And thank you to Ms. Zephron for those beautiful words. And I'm not just saying that because she could fail me in her class. So we want to thank all of our speakers, presenters, and I congratulate all of our award recipients. But that concludes the TMA Day of Celebration. Thank you to all those in attendance for coming. Thank you all for watching. The links to the films will all be linked in the description below. Thank you and have a great day.